Hello again. Welcome and happy Friday. You're watching the May 14th episode of CCTU's Take 5. I'm Bill Van Amberg. My colleague Alicia Gildy is off this week. I'll be your host for this rapid fire edition. Our CCTU Take 5 brings you a fast 5-minute take on the latest trends, tools, and updates in the clean commercial transportation industry. It's a quick way to keep us all connected on important topics and progress, while we also work to bring you a full CCTU episode each month. Last Take 5, we gave you the most important news in the clean transportation industry. This week, we're profiling two timely events that are tied to key industry issues. One of those issues is getting to vehicle volumes fast. How do we do it? On May 19th at 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Pacific time, we'll be hosting a webinar on that topic, Taking Commercial Fleet Electrification to Scale, Financing, Barriers, and Solutions. So joining us today to talk about that webinar is Ben Mandel, CALSTART's Northeast Regional Director, to talk more about the webinar. Ben, first, great to have you on again and great to see you. You were one of the leaders in developing this report that the webinar is built around. What will the webinar focus on exactly?
First, Bill, great to be here. Thanks for having me on to talk about this. CALSTART's latest white paper takes on a really important question, which is how truck and bus fleets can harness financial markets to move beyond zero-emission demonstrations or pilots and access a much more meaningful scale of zero-emission adoption. The webinar itself will feature an overview, first by the report's author, Robert O. Gurman of Pro Energy Consulting LLC, of findings from more than 80 industry interviews he conducted. This includes a discussion of innovative and emerging commercial models like electrification as a service, as well as actionable policy and private market solutions to relieve some of the leading sources of risk and uncertainty, like residual value risk, that can unlock more private capital to accelerate market transformation. We think financiers are really ready to dive in and finance the commercial vehicle transition to zero-emission vehicles once governments and private actors can work together to firm up the perceived risks associated with fleet electrification.
Yeah, it's really interesting, and there's a lot of deep detail in this report, Ben, but there are also some really key actionable takeaways. What do you hope people get from attending the webinar? What can they expect from participating?
Well, the webinar will characterize sort of the state of play for commercial vehicle electrification finance and include the perspectives of leading innovators as well in project finance from within CALSTART member companies, as well as the financing community. And as much as financing may be a barrier to achieving electrification at scale right now, diagnosing some of the failure points and proposing government and private market solutions for those failings can really help get the industry pointed in the right direction and unlock, in fact, billions in capital to electrify fleets at a meaningful scale, which is what we all want to see. So I really hope all of you can join us on May 19th.
Great, Ben. I do think that there's some fantastic takeaways in there that, to your point, could really unleash billions of dollars and greatly accelerate our move. So thank you for joining us today. And please take part in this webinar coming up, as Ben pointed out, on May 19th. The other important event coming up is the Drive to Zero Meeting of Nations that is taking place at the 12th annual meeting of the Clean Energy Ministerial, or CEM. The CEM is a gathering of energy ministers from the world's top 24 nations focused on clean energy. CALSTART's Drive to Zero program is a formal campaign of CEM, and we are organizing a gathering of leader nations the week of May 31st. In partnership with the Netherlands, we'll convene leading countries to voice their support for a mutual agreement to set strong, aligned global sales targets for zero-emission medium and heavy-duty vehicles. This is going to send a really strong signal that we need to accelerate our pace to zero emissions. All of this is the next step towards strong global commitments from nations coming up at the yearly UN Climate Summit, known as COP26, in November. So please check out this critical progress. We will have more information on the events pages of our Drive to Zero and CALSTART websites. Well, that is it for Take 5 for this week. Fast and furious 5 minutes. Make sure to register for our next live broadcast of CCTU, a full CCTU edition coming up on May 21st. And you can do that by visiting our website at calstart.org/CCT update. Also, stay connected with us by following us at CALSTART on Twitter. But for now, thank you for taking 5 with us and for making Friday your CCTU day. Stay safe, and we will CCTU again on May 21st.